It's a new day. It's a beautiful day. The joy you felt this time last week as the new year began, let not that fervent gratefulness die. Continue to revel in the gift of life and use it to fuel your goals. Hi there, I'm Edmund Atkinson and this is Jamaica Magazine, the show with the information you need to improve your life. Between the pages, tourism, a sector that holds much for the economic prosperity of Jamaica. We hear from the minister. Stay with us for all that and so much more right after this.
I'm young, gifted, and violence-free.
I will stand up for peace. No matter what you say, you can't take that away.
I'm young,
gifted, and violence-free.
I choose to live.
I choose to be me.
Close to 4 million tourists came to this little island in 2016. Tourism earnings went above $2 billion. There is much we can do to preserve this asset of ours so it can continue to grow the country's economy. Portfolio Minister Edmund Bartlett discusses that and other issues with Ian Boyne next.
Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. The Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Edmund Bartlett, is back. There's so much happening in the tourism industry that one program just couldn't suffice. So the Minister is back to tell us about what has been happening and where the tourism industry is heading globally, as well as how Jamaica is exploiting those opportunities. We thank you so much for your company. Minister, good to have you back. We spoke last week about some of the investments that have taken place in the industry. And one of the most exciting things which have taken place is this whole Airbnb phenomenon, where ordinary Jamaicans are renting out their rooms, renting out their space, and becoming, you know, entrepreneurs in this tourism business. Tell us about this phenomenon.
Well, you know, tourism is driven by innovation. And in marketing, when new things hit you, the tendency is for you to feel a little unsure and uncertain. Yes, well, tourism is about uncertainties.
Yeah. Disruptive.
Disruptive
behavior,
absolutely.
Technology. Yes,
disruptive technology. Because that's what defining and redefining experiences. Bearing in mind that people travel again to
fulfill their passions,
fulfill their passion and to experience newness and freshness and the difference that exists between themselves and other people. And so Airbnb, I think, is part of the response to the new business models that are required to bring new demographics into
so explain how
the
this
industry.
Works. Someone can go online, you find some body who might want to come to Jamaica who is not going to a traditional hotel. Tell us a little bit about it.
But let me tell you, there's a little bit about the background that is useful.
Yes.
In that these two young men, you know, from college friends, wanted to travel and discover that they couldn't afford.
Couldn't afford the traditional hotel.
Right, and then they have friends who they say, okay, fine. Let me see, we have these extra rooms here. If we put out something, let's see what happens. And quickly people said yes, they wanted to come. And then they said, okay, this is a great idea. Let us see who else have rooms that people could do. And in no time flat, I mean, you know, scores of people were calling in to say, yes, we would want to go to so and so and so, and we would be willing to stay with this family and stay with that. And believe you me, in a matter of 10 years, it's the largest reservation center in the world.
It's the largest?
140 million room nights.
140 million?
140 million room nights.
About how many Jamaicans you think?
Jamaicans, I think we have 14,000 rooms in Jamaica.
14,000?
And
that's ordinary Jamaicans
renting out their space.
And
when you look at the cluster, clusters,
yes.
It's in Trench Town and Greenwich Town.
Yes.
It's in Portmore heavily. It's in elements of St. Catherine it's Kingston, all over Kingston.
Yes.
Montego Bay as well, and some of Ocho-Rios, but not as much. And it's growing. The 32,000 visitors came as a result last year.
32,000 to Jamaica?
Yes. The figures we have for this year is not yet tabulated. But we had a sense of what the additional rooms were. That's how we got to 14,000.
So ordinary Jamaicans benefiting from the tourism
ordinary
industry.
Jamaicans. And this is an innovation that is redefining access to tourism and travel. Yes. And the corollary to that, of course, is Uber. So Uber provides the transfers and the transportation from one location to another. Yes. But you know, the essence of that is a deeper economic arrangement.
Called the sharing economy.
Absolutely, called the sharing economy. And that came out of the millennials.
Yes, that's true.
Who are the most educated workforce the world has ever seen, but the poorest. Yes. Because they come saddled with heavy student loan bills and so on and so forth. So they had to find a way to ensure that they can have their holiday, can have their leisure time and so on at costs that are affordable. So that is what the argument of necessity is the mother of invention is all about, right? Yes. So now Airbnb has all these room nights, but it doesn't own a single room.
Yes.
As Uber has all these cars and taxis and don't own one. It is telling you that we have to find ways to exist, to operate, not only just to live, but to live
and to adapt.
And to adapt. So the nimbleness of tourism in Jamaica is what is going to define our future.
Give us a competitive advantage.
And to give a competitive advantage.
So many exciting things taking place in tourism, and the Minister of Tourism is keeping us abreast of that. We're going to take a break, but we'll be right back.
A healthy and educated people living in a clean, natural environment, reducing crime, improving the justice system and governance, building a prosperous economy. It's not just a vision, it's reality. Learn about the plan. Join the vision.
My country, Jamaica, has a rich heritage and is very unique. If we all pull together, we can make it the place of choice to
live,
work, raise family, and to do business.
For more information on Vision 2030, call the Planning Institute of Jamaica or visit vision2030.gov.jm, your parish library, school library, or the Jamaica Information Service.
Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, is our guest. So this is an exciting area. Ordinary Jamaicans renting out their rooms to visitors, but they might wonder when you're going to come and start tax them now, and you know, government put in its hands in their pockets.
Well, the formula that we believe Airbnb is comfortable with will enable us to continue to offer this as a very vital addition to the room stock of the industry, without any damage pecuniarily to the stakeholders who are joining us. We regard this as being a broadening
Yes, a different
of the
market.
stakeholdership.
That's right. You're not
within
taking
the
away
industry.
from
Exactly, and
people who go
it doesn't derogate any from the big, large hotels.
That is correct.
because a different
No,
type
different
of
type.
experience,
Yes, yes,
and it's a
different
different demographic.
That's right.
But what it does, however, is require of us a certain security of quality and standards and efficiencies, because the destination is at risk if the safety, security, and the seamlessness of the experience is not preserved. So we will have an interest in ensuring that the stakeholders are on point in terms of the quality and the safety and the security and the seamlessness.
Yeah, and safety of all people too, you know. Not
Yes,
just
yes,
safety of visitors.
of course.
Yeah,
Because,
people coming in.
but the advantage of these broader areas becoming involved in tourism is the ownership that it will present of the industry
Jamaicans
by
will see
more
themselves as
That's
stakeholders
correct.
in the
So
industry.
the desire to protect it, because guess what? You're earning at $50 here, US, a night, what you never planned for.
right.
A $30 here, a $25 there.
Someone don't want any violence in community.
Absolutely.
Because that's going to affect his business.
Absolutely. So that's an important area. So the TPDCO is going to have an interest in ensuring what we call destination assurance. And the discussion that the Airbnb are having with us is about how do we help to enable that to happen without putting any burden on the local stakeholder. So I would say don't worry about that element of imposition.
Yes.
This is not the intention of government at this time.
Yes.
We absolutely have no desire to get into that area.
Yes.
But Airbnb and ourselves have a mutual desire to maintain the pristine nature of the destination. And so we are going to be looking at how we can collaborate to enable that to happen. And one final critical area for us with Airbnb is data mining and marketing. There is no body who will have in time better data to guide the market and to assist us in allocating resources more efficiently and to spend our advertising dollar in a more pointed way, but more so to be able to measure our outturn, measure the performance of the dollar and see our return on investment by geographical area, by demographics, as well as by investment groups. So we see the partnership as being very, very critical, not just from the point of view of expanding the visitor arrival and the growth, broadening the stakeholdership locally, but also in terms of management of the tourism product.
Minister, you have talked about bettering the hoteliers tourism product. What are the plans for that? What can we see in the coming year for hoteliers?
Well, you know, I don't want to be preemptive of the UDC in terms of this, but Prime Minister is leading the charge in terms of renewal of hoteliers. And the agencies involved are UDC, PHA, and some private sector investors. So we see hoteliers as becoming the center for cruise and family tourism in time. And every effort is being made to do that. The designs and so on are now being completed in a number of areas. And in short order, Prime Minister will have, I am sure, yes, a statement to make on that. Falmouth, you didn't ask about, but I have a particular interest in building out this heritage experience that Falmouth has. And Falmouth could be the finest cruise destination in the entire Caribbean because it has all the elements of it. But we have to do the investment that is necessary and the education of the people and have the local stakeholders buy in to the whole strategy of development there and to see Falmouth as being their oyster, yes? And therefore to nurture it and to make it work and to happen. So we're going to be spending some time. We did some studies there. We looked at the whole business of the destination assurance. Falmouth is going to be the first destination to have a destination manager. As a result, too, we are going to be restructuring the resort boards. In fact, we're changing the name to make them resort development councils, right? So that these are going to be constituted of people who are involved in the delivery of the day-to-day experience in the resort. So like the health and the fire, you know, and the MSWMA, people sanitation, right? And the local authorities, the parish council have to play a key role, because a lot of emphasis and dependence is going to be on the parish councils, the mayors and the councillors, to be the guardian of the destination. We can't do it from Kingston. We can't stay in Kingston and make Ochoreas pristine and keep it clean in Falmouth and Montego Bay. They have to do it. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time as minister with the local authorities to get them to understand the role that they have to play to build this. And in doing so, people are going to be earning. More people are going to be getting jobs, because the good thing about tourism is that it's driven by experiences, and experience is a product of a mind.
So it's limitless.
It's limitless.
We can create all kinds of experiences.
Absolutely.
So overall, we expect a great winter season.
Yes, this winter season should be the best that we have. We have rooms, we have air seats, we have a better feeling in the place.
Thank you so much, Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Edmund Bartlett. We thank you for your company on Issues and Answers today. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Boyne wishing you a pleasant day.
This is Ramen Burger. I'm here appeal to all of the youths them to just stay away from crime and violence. We know the temptation, the money, the fast life. People say them rate you, but that will only take you nowhere. If you stay in school and focus, then you can achieve anything. Be your own leader. A gang is a dead end.
A message from the Ministry of National Security.
The academic Easter term officially begins tomorrow, another period to ensure the country's young minds are molded into the best versions of themselves. Fortunately for persons whose minds are not so young, there are programs that will still facilitate learning. Listen up.
Education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world, said Nelson Mandela. This quote rings true for many Jamaicans who have been given a new lease on life through the work of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, JFLL. Formerly known as JAMAL, JFLL was established in 1974 for one major purpose:
the opportunity of providing a second chance to adult learners to be able to, one, be just to read your Bible. Come to us. If it is that you want to have a better job, if you want to transition to post-secondary education, we are the place for that.
Fortunately, that objective is being realized in the lives of many adults, with Jamaica's adult literacy rate in 2016 being 87%. At the institution's inaugural Power Breakfast in September 2016, Jamaicans were exposed to the stories of two adults who have realized their full potential through the work of the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning. Meet 59-year-old Raphael Young.
I am thankful for this program, JFLL. It has changed my life and developed my reading skill so that I can read. When I heard of the program were coming to my community, I was very glad and I welcome the program. I made an assessment. When I joined the class, I was in grade 1 with a workbook named A Day with the Sharp, a first reader for adult published by Jamal Foundation. When I did my numeracy test, I end level 1 and in level 2 and take take the test again and end level 2 and in level 3 and further on. The class allow me now to able to read the star so that I can read the good and bad news.
Raphael, a proud graduate of the program. It's good news also for the stakeholders at a time when the institution is entering more adult learners in the CSEC external examinations.
People told us that we could not take learners who couldn't read and write and get them up to CSEC level and let them pass CSEC subjects in 2 years. They were absolutely wrong. This year, we had about 167 learners across our network who most came to us reading as our grade 2 child would have read. And we worked with them. And 47 of those learners decided to sit 5 subjects straight. And right now we're getting in the results. We have so far 15 of the 47 who have completed and passed 5 subjects.
Among the bright students, 47-year-old grandmother Veronica Robinson Malcolm.
My educational ambition got disrupted when I got pregnant at a tender age of 15 years old. I dropped out of regular school at grade 10. In spite of that setback, I was determined to further my education. I heard about the JFLL program by way of a JS program. I took up the pleasure of applying there, which I was enrolled, and now I have 5 CXC subjects, 6 JSE subjects. Thanks. My children have all grown. I am now a proud grandmother of 4. The experience of JFLL was phenomenal. The interaction as a student, president of the student council, the teachers, the administrative body, and the clerical staff. Honestly, I can't tell you how good it was. I am a true example of this old saying, you are never too old to learn.
Never too old to learn, a sentiment advocated by the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information.
That is a message that we want to get out there. Because we want every adult to not only be fully literate, but to be trained and certified at the highest level. It helps very often with the education system in terms of the generation. The more parents are educated, the more their children also are educated. It works. All adults I'd love in Jamaica to make lifelong learning a culture.
As JFLL continues to modernize, the way ahead is clear.
We will be intensifying our effort to identify and secure strategic partnerships to support JFLL's mandates. Target areas with high pockets that are in need of remedial support to guide program expansion, to interface with the Ministry of Education and other ministries, departments and agencies, international development partners, and the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning to further our reach into these areas.
So, if you're an adult looking for a second chance at learning, forget the naysayers, embrace the change.
A lot of people try to disencourage me, say I'm too old to go to the school. There are many voices, including the voice of your family member and friend, with some negative word that will lead you astray. But don't listen to those voices. Don't give up just because of what someone said. Use that as a motivation to push harder.
For further information on the programs offered by the Jamaican Foundation for Lifelong Learning, visit their website at jfll.gov.jm or call 928-5181.
As children prepare to head back to school for the Easter term, it's important to ensure their nutritional needs are met. Up next, some quick and easy breakfast meal ideas for children.
Welcome to our kitchen. Today I have assisting me, Sapphire. We're doing some easy breakfast meal ideas. The meals are so easy to prepare, so you can have your children assist you. Today we'll be preparing mackerel croquettes. The ingredients are mackerel, escallion, mixed vegetables, red onions, and white onions. Also, we'll be using the breading process. The ingredients for the breading process are flour, egg wash, and breadcrumb. For children who suffer from celiac disease, instead of using our regular breadcrumb, you can use the gluten-free breadcrumb. So what we'll be doing now is basically adding all our ingredients and mixing them together. So first we'll add the sweet potato. And sweet potato is rich in iron and potassium. We'll add the mackerel flakes.
So Randy, how long does this meal usually take to prepare?
It doesn't take more than 5 minutes. So what I would suggest to parents who work and have no time to prepare the meals in the morning, prep all ingredients from overnight, put them in the fridge, and then go ahead and deep fry them in the morning. And that will take the most 3 minutes. So what I'll have Sapphire doing now is just mixing the ingredients for me. Okay, well done, Sapphire. We'll now add some eggs for binding. Just mix the ingredients thoroughly. What we're going to do now is make some mini balls. So just squash everything together. It's almost the size of a golf ball. So we then coat it in flour, then egg wash, then breadcrumb. Sapphire is going to help me make one of the balls. Take up a small amount, squash it together. Squash it. Squash it with your hands like that. Squash it and just gently roll it. Okay, well done, Sapphire.
Okay, and how many of these balls do you usually recommend?
Normally for age group 5 to 11, I would recommend 8 ounces. So you're looking at about 4 to 5 of these balls. And portion control is very important because the correct portioning of food alleviates obese children. You have a whole lot of obese children all across the world, and overeating is one of the main factors. And now we'll move to the fryer. We're going to fry these croquettes until they are golden brown. And this should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. And the taste is very great. So the mothers and single mothers who have a short period on their hands to prepare breakfast in the morning, this is one of the easier way to go. And it's very nutritious. As you saw, we had a lot of vegetables in there, along with the mackerel that is rich in omega-3. You know, omega-3 is good for heart health. It prevents against heart disease. If you are a vegetarian, you can use veggie chunks or veggie mince.
Before we go, we leave you with this message. Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. We sign off from your television screens, but the information continues to flow on our social media pages. For more on tourism and other relevant news, click on our YouTube channel, Twitter, and Facebook pages. You may also download our Google app to always stay in the know. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Have yourself a wonderful week.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.